Leapmotor's stock dropped 8% in one morning. Not because sales fell, but because selling more cars is actually costing them more money per car. On August 25, 2026, Leapmotor's Hong Kong-listed shares fell more than 8% intraday. Not because of a recall, not because of a scandal, because the company published its second quarter results the day before, and one line in the report spooked the market. Gross margin had dropped from 14.1% in the first half of last year to 11.7% in H1 2026. That's a 240 basis point collapse in a single reporting period. And in the EV world, where investors are already allergic to red ink, that number landed like a fire alarm. I think the market's reaction was fast and a little knee-jerk, but it wasn't wrong to be worried. The tension here is real. Leapmotor is simultaneously pushing toward 1 million annual deliveries, which means roughly 83,000 cars a month, while its per-car economics are moving in the wrong direction. That combination, volume up, margin down, is the oldest trap in manufacturing. And Leapmotor is walking straight toward it with its eyes open, which is either brave or reckless depending on what you believe about their vertical integration plan. Here's the mechanism, because this is the part most coverage glosses over. When Leapmotor says it wants 80% self-sourcing, meaning 80% of components designed and made in-house rather than bought from third-party suppliers, that sounds like a cost-saving story. And eventually, it is. But getting there requires enormous upfront capital, new tooling lines, engineering headcount, quality control infrastructure, and the inevitable ramp-up waste before yields stabilize. Right now, Leapmotor is paying for that build-out, while simultaneously cutting prices to compete with BYD at the volume end of the market. Those two forces are squeezing margin from both sides at once. I'd argue this is structurally identical to what Tesla went through between 2018 and 2020, when they were scaling the Model 3 and burning cash on Gigafactory ramp costs, even as they slashed the entry price to hit their own volume targets. Tesla's gross margin on automotive that year dipped below 20% before the vertical integration savings finally kicked in. Leapmotor is at 11.7%. So the question isn't whether this pattern is familiar. It is. The question is whether they can execute the back half of it. Before we go further, one number that changes the whole picture. Leapmotor's Stellantis partnership gives it access to European manufacturing infrastructure that Tesla had to build entirely from scratch. That's not nothing. That could compress the timeline significantly. I'll be honest here. 2 years ago, I predicted that Leapmotor's Stellantis deal was primarily a sales distribution play, a way to get cars into European showrooms faster than building their own dealer network. I underestimated the manufacturing angle. Reports from H1 2026 suggest Leapmotor is increasingly using Stellantis plants in Poland and Italy to localize production for European models, which does two things. It sidesteps EU tariffs that are currently sitting above 20% for Chinese-made EVs, and it gives Leapmotor a real-world stress test for its self-sourcing components in a Western regulatory environment. That second point is actually more strategically valuable than the tariff dodge. If Leapmotor's in-house battery management systems and its proprietary Leap architecture can pass European type approval at scale, that's proof of concept for the 80% self-sourcing thesis. Now, compare this to what BYD is doing. BYD is building its own plant in Hungary from the ground up, which gives them more control, but also more exposure if European EV demand softens. Leapmotor is renting Stellantis' existing capacity, which is capital lighter but means they're dependent on a partner whose own EV strategy has been, to put it charitably, inconsistent. I think Leapmotor's approach is actually the smarter near-term bet, but it comes with a partner risk ceiling that BYD doesn't have. So where does this go? I see 3 specific pressure points over the next 12 to 24 months. First, watch whether Leapmotor hits 70,000 monthly deliveries by Q2 2027. That's the intermediate milestone toward the 83,000 month run rate needed for 1 million annual units. If they're still below 60,000 by mid-2027, the volume thesis starts to crack and the margin sacrifice looks like it bought nothing. Second, watch the self-sourcing number itself. Management has guided toward 80%, but right now unconfirmed estimates put them somewhere around 60 to 65%. Closing that gap requires their in-house semiconductor and motor controller programs to hit production yield targets. If those slip, they'll be buying components on the spot market at exactly the wrong point in the cycle, which would push margin down further, not up. Third, and this is the one Western investors should track. Watch what Stellantis does with its own EV lineup through 2026 and into 2027. If Stellantis doubles down on Leapmotor platform vehicles under the Citroën or Opel badges, that's a signal the partnership is deepening and Leapmotor gets stickier European volume. If Stellantis pivots back toward its own in-house EV platforms, which Carlos Tavares' successors have hinted at, Leapmotor loses its most important Western distribution lever. I'd specifically watch Opel's electric lineup announcement expected around Q1 2027 for the clearest signal. So, bullish or bearish? Here's where I land. Cautiously bullish on the 3-year story, genuinely nervous about the next 2 quarters. 3 things to remember from this. 1. The margin drop from 14.1% to 11.7% is real and painful, but it is structurally explainable. Leapmotor is paying for vertical integration before the savings arrive, exactly the way Tesla did in 2018. 2. The Stellantis partnership is more valuable than a distribution deal. It's a manufacturing shortcut into Europe that BYD is spending billions to replicate from scratch. 3. The single number to watch is monthly deliveries in Q2 2027. If Leapmotor clears 70,000 units that month, the volume margin trade-off was probably worth it. If they don't, this whole thesis needs revisiting. Now here's what I want to know from you specifically. Do you think the Stellantis partnership is a genuine strategic asset, or is it a crutch that stops Leapmotor from building the independent global infrastructure it will eventually need? Drop your answer below. I read the comments. And if this kind of margin versus growth analysis is useful to you, subscribe. I do this every week. Subscribe for weekly Chinese EV analysis. And tell me in the comments, is the Stellantis deal Leapmotor's greatest asset or its biggest crutch?